I'm not sure, are you asking a question about what DOE provides to us?
Well,
Or what they don't provide to us?
It states in the Act that the Secretary of Energy is to provide all relevant information so that we can make proper. Well, they don't do that.
I don't know that we have much control over
Well,
that.
one way of simply understanding that is they said in the Act that they did not protect the workers. So when I turned in my claim, for instance, they said I was a machinist. As a machinist, I was supposed to have certain protections when I ran beryllium. No, I didn't. I was a supervisor of machinists. They said that I provided training. This is what Honeywell DOE says. I provided training for my people on how to protect themselves and how to run beryllium. No, I didn't. We didn't do it. Simple as that. How is that taken into the claims?
You know, oftentimes when we have affidavits from supervisors on certain claims that tell us that kind of information, we can use that. And especially if it's coming from an individual supervisor, and they say, I did not give this person protection. You know, I don't know if DOE is telling us that you did necessarily, or we're making an assumption that you did. If you didn't, and you've seen claims, or you know of claims where that actually was told to us differently, and you provide a statement to us, we can look at that and take that into consideration.
And we did that through Paragon.
Okay. Oh, you went to Paragon. But even if you know of a specific case in which you know somebody's filed a claim, and you were their supervisor, you could present it in their case, too.
We've done that.
Okay.
We've done that in adjudication.
Okay.
And you know, another thing, we have to swear. I know when we do these adjudications, we have to swear on those that we'll tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. We do it. What about the other side?
DOE?
Yeah.
We have to get what we can from them. I mean, you know, we have to believe a certain amount of it, too. They provide us with information. They're a federal agency, you know. We try to take all the information into account, is what we do.
I'm sorry.
Your hearing examiner isn't seeking an
Well, the evidence that they're bringing forward, what they're judging it on, is not based on the truth. It's not based on the truth. The beryllium exposures, for instance, the condition that the workers worked in, even all the evidence is not brought forward. I asked for my records. I was the chemical stores supervisor. I wanted all of the chemicals in the store brought forth in my evidence. This never has been provided. They said they can't find it.
Yeah.
I mean, from a DOE standpoint, you know, again, we try to find all of the records that we have, you know, and I have heard at many, you know, certain sites will say, well, you know, we didn't wear our badges because, you know, we would get burned out and we put them in our pocket and things. I mean, obviously the paperwork is not going to reflect that. So we try to find all of the paperwork that we have about what went on and what was where, and we provide that to DOL. I know both DOL and NIOSH, you know, they could have some other things, whether it's affidavits or other stuff, to try to overcome what's not in the paper records. But from a DOE standpoint, we try to provide all of the records that we can find on an individual or on a site basis for things like the SEM or the... Yeah, I mean, and if you've requested certain records, you know, with a Privacy Act or a FOIA request, I'd be glad to talk to you about, you know, we are supposed to respond to those. I don't know the specifics of that case, but...
No, I asked the facility, when I asked for my records,
right,
that I provide to you for the claims process, it's not fair. It's simply not fair. I also was listed as working in, say, 7 departments, that I was assigned to 7 departments. They know that's not true. I was assigned to 14 departments.
That's where we have to rely on affidavits and information that we have.
Yeah.
May I suggest 2 things that help us when you get through?
Just take this one over.
Yeah, especially you guys in Iowa.
Can you tell me it's frustrating sometimes when the claims examiners change on a claim? What's the logic and the turnover? It seems like it's pretty frequent, and it gets a little frustrating when you're talking to somebody for 3 or 4 months and then you find out on a phone call that it's switched.
Yeah, I understand that can be frustrating. Unfortunately, we have changing workloads. We have changing staff. People retire. We hire new people. In fact, this year we hired a lot of new people just because to keep up with the workload and the new projects and all the other things that were going on. So when that happens, we need to change the numbers around. We need to, because it's a number block thing. We don't have any other mechanism for really keeping one person on one case for the entire lifetime of the case. And I know that's frustrating. We try not to do it too often, but lately probably it's changed a lot because of the staffing changes. It's kind of part of, it goes with the territory.
May we have,
one question, please. I submitted the Lacone case to you a year ago, along with a medical doctor's terminally ill statements. I linked all of the exposures to the chemicals. I provided peer-reviewed studies, even the information from the SIMS that linked the health effects with what Mr. Lacone was exposed to.
I can't talk about a case right now, a specific case. You'll have to take that up with the claims examiner. If there's a problem, then we can look at it. But I don't want to get to specific cases here.
Can I make an appointment to go through that case?
Well, you can talk to your claims examiner about that case for sure. If you have a problem with your claims examiner, then I'm not sure you can send it in to us, but you should start with your claims examiner.
I have sent it. Okay.
apparently there's a new site that comes up with some of the decisions, talks about btcom.org,
Yeah.
but the public or authorized representatives are not able to get on it. Why not? The other thing is, can you provide us access to incidents? If you go on the public side, it says the Portsmouth Gas Diffusion Plant maybe had 7, and they must be tens of thousands of incidents.
You're talking about SEM?
Yes, public SEM.
Okay, so you're asking 2 questions.
2 questions, right?
BT-Comp is the subcontractor database that we use to determine where the subcontractors are.
Yes.
I need to talk a little bit more about whether I can make that public, but it is something I've been considering.
Good.
But has our process been working for you? Because I know that you've been sending in requests, and we provide the data back to you as the admin.
Well, probably that's the same thing I got from the examiner, but if I looked at the things, I might be able to find something that's different. Also, you would find probably the contract period, maybe the buildings that the contractor worked on. All those things would be helpful in assisting claimants. A lot of them are aged, and it's very difficult perhaps to recall.
Yeah, and
something.
I've thought about that too. I just need to check and see what the logistics, if I can make that public or not.
But the incidents would be
The
extremely
incidents,
helpful.
are you referring to SEM now, right? With regard
No, well, yes. If you're on the public side and you look at Portsmouth Gas Diffusion Plant and you look up incidents, there's only but 7. They spilled a little this or that, and they, had tens of thousands of incidents. But the problem I have, a claimant comes in and says, "Yes, I was in this incident." You present that and you give it to NIOSH, and NIOSH says, "But we have no record of it, and my client can't remember the exact date of it. It's not filed in his name." To try to make a request for it to be searched, and it makes it extremely difficult. And I think maybe on your private Department of Labor site, the incidents might be a lot more.
Our Department of Labor SEM is not any different from the one you see, except it's a little bit delayed sometimes in the addition of toxic substances.
Oh, okay.
Anything else is the same as what you see.
Okay.
It's not really private. It's just that we need to catch up with classification, and that's why sometimes it's a little delayed.
All right.
Rachel, in years past, at Portsmouth, there would be incident reports and problem reports. But if you go back more than, say, 30, 35 years, those records become very scarce. And so it's awfully hard to actually pinpoint an incident.
I understand. Okay, well, I think that it's time for us to close up here. But I just wanted to say... I think this was a very productive meeting, and I really, really appreciate the fact that you guys were nice to me and respectful to me.
We're nice people.
Yeah. How about 3 cheers for their speakers? Hip, hip, hooray! Hip, hip, hooray! Hip, hip,